Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend after he chose me in an ultimatum? Me, 27F, and my boyfriend, 27M, have been dating for 2 months. We have so much in common. He's super sweet and always goes the extra mile for me with grand romantic gestures, even asking me out by buying me my favorite comic book and leaving a sticky note between the pages confessing his feelings. I've never gotten anything but amazing vibes from him this whole time until now. However, BF has a childhood friend, 27F, I'll call Sid. My boyfriend was very upfront when we started dating that he and Sid had romantic feelings for each other in the past but decided it would be best they only stayed friends since they didn't want to risk their friendship. I never actually met Sid before and I've only heard about her from BF and vice versa. About 2 weeks ago, my BF texted me, super distraught, telling me that Sid called him, saying that she was too jealous of my and BF's relationship and that she couldn't stand being BF's friend while he was in a happy relationship with me. She basically gave BF an ultimatum of him having to break up with me or she would cut him out of her life. I was baffled by this, thinking that this 27-year-old woman, who had mutually agreed with BF that they would never date, was so childish to give him a ridiculous ultimatum, and I voiced that to him. He got mad at me, saying it's not that simple and seemed to be seriously considering breaking up with me just to stay friends with Sid. I was in disbelief that he couldn't see how manipulative and abusive this was, and that the obvious conclusion would be to cut her off since she was clearly toxic and controlling, but he was still on the fence and we ended up taking a break and not talking while he thought it over. The next week and a half, he barely talked to me, telling me he's in a very hard place while I became increasingly frustrated that this would even be a hard choice. Like, we're in a happy relationship, and he's debating breaking up because his crazy friend can't handle her jealousy? I was fuming. He then finally came to me after that time of not talking saying he decided to choose me and leave his friendship with Sid behind, but by that time I was so mad that it was even a choice that took 2 whole weeks to decide to begin with that I ended up breaking up with him anyway. Now his friends are telling me I'm an a-hole for not breaking up with him sooner because now Sid is still cutting him out for picking me over her and I'm still leaving him, whereas if I had broken up with him during the weeks he was thinking it over, he would have at least been able to stay friends with Sid. But honestly, I didn't even realize how mad I was until he picked me and made it seem like he was some kind of martyr for doing so. Am I the a-hole? Update: apparently, Sid has completely cut EXBF off and blocked him on everything. He is begging me to take him back, even contacting my friends to attempt to convince me. Luckily, all my friends are telling him to F off. He wrote me some 2,000-word essay on how I'm the best thing that ever happened to him and that he was blinded by his happy childhood memories of Sid. I also found out they slept together in the past before we started dating, so that's cool. But it was just a one-night stand to see what could have been. Either way, he was definitely hiding more about his relationship with Sid than I was told. I don't really care anymore. I'm not taking him back. He's a grown man who should have known better than to ghost me for 2 weeks to think it over as if things would be the same after he decided to pick me. Doubt anything else interesting will happen, but I might update if it does. I'm honestly just hoping this will be a reality check for him, and he'll get the message. At least his friends have stopped bothering me. Update 2. I, 28F, broke up with my ex, 28M, 10 months ago, but he will not get over it. Despite me wishing to no longer interact with my ex, as well me as dating someone new, Cole, 29M, my ex has been trying to win me back by doing over-the-top things like sending me gift baskets, love letters, chocolates, etc. even though I've blocked his number on all social media and always ignore his attempts to woo me with his gifts. He never actually interacts with me directly. Never waits for me outside or tries to talk to me, he just leaves me gifts at our doorstep and runs away. It's creepy and makes me super uncomfortable. Cole, who I live with, doesn't actually see an issue with this and says he feels bad for my ex and doesn't want me to waste my ex's money/efforts, so I reluctantly just let Cole eat the chocolates and other crap since he insists I don't throw them out. He even likes reading the love letters even though I tell him I don't want to. I don't understand why he's so chill about this because my ex and Cole aren't even friends and have never interacted, so it makes no sense why he's so okay with my ex doing these dumb gestures that he knows make me uncomfortable and creeped out. If anything, Cole should be pissed off that someone is trying to steal his girlfriend, right? Anyway, all of this finally came to a head on my birthday. After work, I came home to our apartment decorated in balloons, chocolates, and flowers. I'm immediately touched, thinking all of this was a surprise from Cole. Nope. Apparently, my ex actually came over with all this crap, buzzed our apartment doorbell, Cole let him in, and allowed my ex to decorate our apartment and leave gifts for me. Then my ex left before I could get home. Cole apparently saw no issue with this. He literally let my ex into our apartment like it was no big deal because my ex came all the way with all these gifts, which was such a thoughtful gesture. Now I feel totally unsafe. What if my ex secretly left a hidden camera or something? I have no idea why Cole is so fine with all of this. I've talked to him over and over and he won't understand why I would want to reject free stuff from someone who cares about me. I love Cole, but the fact that he actually let my ex into our apartment was a huge breach of my trust and I have no clue how to deal with this. Is this relationship just unsalvageable, or is there a way I can get it through Cole's head that none of this is okay? Could Cole have ulterior motives by letting my ex do all of these things? Any advice is welcome. I just have no clue how to handle this absurd situation. Thanks. Edit. Thank you for all the insight, everyone. I really appreciate it. I don't have the money to do everything that was recommended, but I'm going to do some investigating into Cole and my ex possibly being in cahoots with each other and confront Cole this weekend, likely to end this cluster F of a relationship. If there's any interest, I'll update if anything significant happens. Thank you again. Some of OP's comments. Commenter: something is very wrong with Cole. What the F does he mean he feels bad for your ex who's stalking you? Do you mind if I ask why you're already living with Cole? OP replies: cost of living mostly. I live in a very expensive city, so I was living month to month on my own. He basically offered to be my roommate so that we can go half and half on the rent/internet/utilities, and it would relieve my financial stress, which it has a lot. It might have been stupid to jump the gun at us moving in so quickly, but he had only shown green flags until now. I can technically kick him out and try to look for a different roommate if things are totally done for, since most of the stuff in our apartment is mine. Commenter: how did you meet Cole? OP replies: through work. We both worked together in retail for a couple of years before I moved to a proper salary job and casually stayed in touch with him after I quit. We would text to just catch up and play video games together over Steam. A couple of months after I broke up with my ex, he asked me out for coffee and things just progressed from there. Commenter: how do you know Cole and your ex don't know each other? They seem like buddies to me. How do you know Cole? How long have you been together? OP replies: downvoted. I've been with Cole for almost 8 months at this point. I have no idea how the two of them could have met since they don't share any friends, went to different schools, work totally different jobs, and have completely different interests. Unless they secretly became friends while my ex has been stalking me and he's hidden that from me, which would just be absolutely ridiculous, because who would want to be friends with the guy who is stalking/trying to steal your girlfriend? But at this point I have no idea anymore. Commenter: I think they have become secret allies. You need to get away from Cole. In the meantime, all gifts and edibles get destroyed, cut up and coated with bleach so they can't be used, eaten or gifted. Put them in the big dumpster and send a photo to your ex each time. Tell him this is what you think of his garbage gifts. Does Cole have friends and family? If so, tell them all what he's doing. Shame is a powerful motivator. OP replies: downvoted. Cole has been the one eating all the edibles and interacting with the gifts. I do not even touch them, lol. My initial thought is maybe he wanted to keep my ex's gifts around so he could get free chocolates to eat. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually that careless. His friends already know about all of this and seem to think it's funny that my ex is such a tryhard. His family lives across the country, but I could try texting them. Commenter: so then just deal with it if you want, put a stop to it. Just be with Jerky Cole and let him eat himself silly. Girl, you need a backbone. And stay single for a while, your picker is broken. Sorry to sound harsh, but I can't figure out why you have 2 jerks in a row and can't figure out when to break up or how to keep pests from your life. OP replies: downvoted. No, you're right. My ex was easy to break up with because I'd only been dating him 2 months before he pulled some absolutely dumb crap that pissed me off so much I felt no remorse in dumping him instantly. With Cole, it's a bit different since I've known him years before dating and thought he was a really great guy until now. He's genuinely sweet in every other way except this one thing, but this one thing is definitely bad enough to outweigh the good things. It just sucks. But I have to think about my safety first. Commenter: they know each other. Think about it. There is no way your ex is going to be chill handing out and decorating the apartment while your BF is literally watching him. And you BF isn't going to be chill letting your ex do that. I'm really concerned they are in this together and you are in danger. OP replies: I'm really starting to think this could be the case. My BF is WFH, so there's a chance he caught my ex while he was dropping things off and they talked. He denies that, but I'm becoming more and more paranoid now, and I am definitely going to see what I can do to end this relationship in case they are secretly in cahoots. To another commenter: I'm 99% sure they weren't friends originally, but I am starting to think they have come in contact at some point before this birthday incident and Cole has been keeping this from me. OP's background. I grew up with an abusive mom and an absent father, so my relationship understandings are probably screwed up. Maybe I should probably go back to therapy for a while after this before putting myself out there again. The green flags Cole showed. I meant he only showed green flags before we started properly dating and we moved in together. Before this whole stalker mess, he was, or at least pretended to be, thoughtful, funny, helpful, and sweet. The type who if you told him you had a hard day he'd offer a shoulder massage and let you vent to him. It wasn't until this stalker X stuff that he showed such a disregard for my safety and comfort. Update 3. TLDR, my boyfriend Cole has been allowing my stalker X to send me gifts like it's no big deal, and even let my ex into my apartment to decorate for my birthday. When I got back home on Friday, I tried to come up with a good plan to keep myself safe while I confronted Cole in case he were to do something scary. A lot of people put the fear of God into me in the comments of my last post. I invited my very tall and intimidating younger brother over to be there while I talked to Cole. My brother couldn't come over until Sunday, so I spent a day and a half awkwardly trying to pretend everything was fine, but I must have done a crap job because Cole kept asking me what was wrong and love bombing me. Eventually Sunday came around, my brother showed up and we grilled Cole about why the hell he's been so fine with my ex coming around with gifts and even letting him in to decorate our apartment for my birthday. I was not ready. All of you had a lot of theories, one of which came up a lot was that the two knew each other and or were working together to do this. If anything, I would have rather that been the case because the truth is so much more effed up. Basically, Cole has been fixated on my ex. He has essentially been stalking my stalker. Cole admitted that he made fake social media accounts, yes, multiple, to follow my ex, and has been stalking his Instagram and Facebook. Apparently, my ex has been making a lot of vent posts about me and how hurt he is that I'm not returning his feelings and have moved on so fast, and Cole has been egging him on his alt accounts to get my ex to keep trying. The reason my ex is still stalking me is because Cole has been literally telling him to on his alternate accounts. It's obvious my ex is unstable if he's listening to random strangers telling to keep trying, and Cole is taking advantage of his instability by planting thoughts into his head. If I am to believe Cole's words, my ex has no idea that it's Cole that's been encouraging him to keep pursuing me, but I can't be certain about anything this guy says at this point. So why, you ask, was Cole doing all of this? That is exactly what my brother and I asked. This was his answer: to give my ex false hope. Basically to bully him. Anytime my ex-onks posted on his social media about me, Cole got some sick satisfaction out of watching his misery. He wanted to string my ex along to keep trying to win my heart just to watch him fail over and over. Cole finds it hilarious that my ex is wasting so much money on gifts for me and that it's him who eats the chocolates and reads the desperate love letters my ex sends to me while I act like my ex's gifts are radioactive and avoid them. This has all been some sick game to see how long he can get my ex to keep pining for me. Who the hell even does this? I've been living in fear for months because Cole thinks it's funny to manipulate my ex and watch him be heartbroken. I cannot articulate how sick all of this is. How is this funny? What is wrong with him? He said he makes sure not to go too far by discouraging my ex to make direct contact with me, but I can't believe anything anymore. I've read so many stories of people who were dating someone who seemed so sweet initially but turned out to be actually unhinged, but I naively never thought that could be me. I was so careless and dumb because I clung to someone who finally treated me with kindness, but he is a twisted man who turned my ex into a monster by feeding his delusions. I think if he hadn't done all this, my ex probably wouldn't still be stalking me in the first place. My constant fear and discomfort have just been an unfortunate byproduct of his little game of puppetry. I can't even comprehend how someone could do something like this. I'm so shaken up I feel like I'm spiraling. Suffice to say, I'm living with my brother in his GF while my ex gets the hell out. I told him he needs to move out within the week or I'm getting the cops involved. He didn't make a fuss or anything, surprisingly. He just looked at the floor like a kicked puppy. He hasn't even tried to call or text me, but I blocked him just in case. I'm going to see if my landlord can understand my situation and let me break lease early with no extra cost, but if I can't, my brother is going to cover the extra cost in the meantime, and I'll stay with him and his GF until I can find somewhere else. My brother is seriously a godsend. I'm definitely going to go back to therapy as soon as possible because this whole situation has me unable to sleep at night, trust anyone, and I really need a better understanding of what are red flags in relationships. So many of you told me I was a pushover and you're alright. It shouldn't have taken this long for me to call this relationship with Cole off. This is so effed up, but I'm safe for now. I don't know what I'd do without my brother and his GF. Thanks to everyone who told me to get out of this relationship because Cole was way more twisted than I ever could have thought. I don't even know if he told the whole truth, but I don't even care anymore. I'm out. Gone. Never looking back. Edit. Thank you everyone for your advice and words of encouragement. I called the non-emergency police line to file a report of all this. It wasn't super helpful other than just making a record, so I'll do a follow-up with them once I have safe access to my apartment and can collect evidence. I unblocked Cole for now to gather any text evidence as some of you suggested, but he's been pretty quiet. He sent a photo of a couple of garbage bags full of his stuff and he asked if he could have a day to say goodbye to my cat. I have her with me currently at my brother's place, no way am I letting her near him. I haven't replied yet. I turned read receipts off. Haven't contacted X1 yet, still figuring out the best way to do that. Tomorrow is a stat holiday where I live, so my brother and his GF will be home from work. We are working together to figure all this out. Definitely moving out of my current place as soon as I can. Sorry I can't reply to all the comments, I'm still pretty overwhelmed and anxious and there are so many that it's frying my brain, but I'm trying to read most of them. I appreciate every one of you, though. Some of OP's comments. Commenter, holy crap. I'm glad you updated us, but what the F? That's absolutely insane and I'm glad you're safe. OP replies, yeah, me too. I took the week off from work because I need to just figure all this crap out. I'm so full of anxiety, but my brother is trying to distract me by talking about competitive Pokemon, bless his heart. Commenter, your brother, or someone, needs to tell your stalker. I have no sympathy for a stalker, but if this went down as described, he's basically been a victim of cyberbullying and there is no way of knowing what might happen next. He needs a dose of reality. For your safety. OP replies, I was so caught up in escaping that I never considered this. You're right. Thank you for reminding me, my head is such a mess right now. I'll need to brainstorm the best way to let my ex know. I hate to know how he'll react to that, though. Commenter, maybe ask your brother to do it with an online message. It definitely should not come from you and this needs to head off any communication from your ex and his fake accounts. OP replies, oh, I am definitely not going to contact my stalker ex myself. I'll probably get my brother to do it since he at least met my ex a few times while I was dating. My dumb self didn't think to record Cole's confession, so we don't have hard proof of his cyber harassment toward my ex. Just gotta hope he believes us and stops interacting with Cole's alt accounts, though I don't know the name of Cole's alts, just that he has them, which is also complicated. OP clarifies. He was sending me gifts before I started dating Cole, but it definitely ramped up after I started dating Cole. Update 4. Here are the highlights. Cole has moved out. Locks have been changed. Still looking for a different place to move into. The housing market here is awful. I've been staying with my brother despite Cole having moved out because I don't feel safe in that apartment. We have a nice arrangement at my brother's place with me buying half the groceries and cooking 3 times a week. Kitty is now comfortable here, she was hiding under the bed for like 3 days. Still not sleeping well, but I'm safe, so that's what matters. I haven't talked to the police since before. I just couldn't find enough evidence in my apartment to make any kind of case since I threw out most of my stalker ex's gifts. Here's the pretty big update. Stalker X has been informed of Cole's doings. I'm just going to start calling Stalker X James to make things easier. My brother contacted James on Facebook and told him what's been going on. We didn't have physical proof of what Cole did, nor the names of his alts, but we knew enough specific details that it seems James believed us. I've been vetting everything my brother has been sending. James has informed that he checked and most of the accounts that were encouraging his stalking have been deactivated, so it further backed our story and it seems like Cole is covering his tracks, probably anticipated this. From the conversation, it seems that James has been wary of Cole ever since Cole let him into my apartment for my birthday. He said he didn't actually want to come into the apartment and just wanted to leave the gifts and decor with Cole, but Cole insisted he came in, and that made him feel super awkward and uncomfortable. He was worried that Cole was trying to coax him inside my apartment in order to hurt him, because the way he was acting was really off. He did his best to be in and out as fast as possible because apparently Cole just gave him bad vibes. Anyway, James seems pretty shaken. He didn't put 2 and 2 together that Cole was the one encouraging his behavior, but was starting to get frustrated by the encouragement. Which James said bordered on harassment because one of Cole's alts would spam his DMs with ideas and asking for updates, and it was getting really intrusive. Why did it take this many months for him to finally feel this way? He apologized and promised he would leave me alone, telling me that this situation has him really shaken up. Smells like he wants pity, but I'm not falling for that. I don't know if I believe everything James said. I think he may have tried to play up his negative feelings about this in order to gain sympathy from my brother, and me by proxy, but who knows? I'm not going to talk to him. That's hopefully it for the James side of things. On Cole's side, he has been mostly quiet, but something did freak me out. After I told James about what Cole did, Cole sent these texts. grammar and spelling edited from original texts. Why did you give James my number? Note, I didn't. Not sure how James got his number? What the F is wrong with you? Why did you tell him and give him my number? Note, again, I only did the former, not latter. Seriously? This is ridiculous. He's blowing up my phone, piece of crap. You're such a petty BTCH for this. Effing freak. That was 3 days ago, haven't heard anything from Cole since. Haven't replied to anything he sent. No idea how James got Cole's number, so that freaks me out, but that is currently not my problem. Went back to work today. Things are okay, but I'm still anxious. Will update here on my profile if anything develops, but things are stable for now. I don't know if there will be much new now that James is informed and Cole is out. Hopefully, things will stay stable and I can go back to my life. Important edit. Someone sent me a YouTube video of a Reddit read of my posts that has 2 updates that never happened and sound like they were written by ChatGPT or other AI, so if you hear anything about a car being AirTagged and me going to court and then moving into a tiny apartment, that's all fake. Don't know why they made AI fanfiction of my story to give it a dramatic conclusion, but I can't even drive a car, I have epilepsy. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel Relationship Drama Stories.